certain things doesn't go with other things aesthetically. As much as I like to really have high thrones, I have to sort of trade it off with my vanity. So, Shambhashita teaching has the bottom from the fourth, the desire has so many different commentaries. Because it's such a popular, and popularity is maybe not the most important, but it's so striking to the point kind of teaching. It has a lot of following. I think we have collected few, such as the short synopsis almost, but temptation2-1.flv. But I'm also going to use commentary or songs written by the great Trapa Gyatsen. From the ultimate point of view, these great masters, there's no difference, of course not. They are equally great. But deluded beings like myself, we always have preference. I have lots of preference. In the Sakya tradition, there are 5 sort of founding father of the Mahasiddha or the Vidyadhara, or the master of the Sakya lineage. And of course they are all equally great, but personally, I myself, anyway, I'm going through this phase at the moment. Who knows when this is going to change. At this point, and actually, to tell you the truth, it has been for a long time. Personally, I really have so much, I adore and really love reading Jiddu Trapa Jensen's songs and his advices. It's very pith instruction oriented and straight to the heart, so to speak. I'll try to extract as much as possible. Now, as some of you have been listening to my, whatever it's called, teachings, so you are experienced with me, but many of you, so those who knows me, you will know that I go astray a lot. I cannot really promise that as much as I am supposed to teach Lojong Shambhashita, I don't know where I will end up, talking about in about 2 days. We may be talking about altogether different things. So, but this time I think you are safe because we have Lama Chota here. Although many people, I think somehow we have been told that he's going to do the revision. Really. Please do not. I don't want you to consider this as a revision. It's actually, I've already asked him that his job is to keep it to the right track, so to speak, so that I'm requesting Lama Chota here to really give you the appropriate corresponding, information, if you like, about Shambhashiri as thoroughly as possible. If I can be blunt, four schools of Tibetan Buddhism, Sakyapas and Gelupas are quite well known for producing scholars, good expounders, explainers, and very critical and all that. The tradition of practice is where, from my diluted viewpoint, is probably seemingly lagging behind. So, within the Sakya tradition, there's a Sakya, Mor, and Sar tradition, and the Sar tradition has a wonderful lineage of practice, which unfortunately is getting really scarce and rare. And Jogji Tijen, which is the late Jogji Tijen, which was an amazing example of the living Sar tradition. And Lama Chodra is not only a close disciple, but he was an attendant for Jogji Tijen Vichye for many, many years. And as I was saying, as far as meditation is concerned, there's not certain, Lama Chodra has done retreats, 3 years retreat and so on and so forth. So I will feel, this time I will feel slightly relaxed to go astray in the morning. So I'm sure he is going to keep to the right track in the afternoons with all the right information. Okay, so now parting from the four, desire or attachment or whatever you want to refer, I think many translators translate this in different. Okay, now one thing. Language is such a challenge. It's really a challenge. Some of you may have heard, I recently had a translators gathering, and translating the words, idioms, phrases is such a difficult thing. I have read actually, I think he's from Dharamsala, some Tibetan guy who translated Wealth of the Nation, the book about economy, right, into Tibetan. And I guess the translator did it exactly like word by word translation. So I have no clue what that whole book is about. I was reading in Tibetan. A few years later, I read the same book translated by Tibetan, but this time in Tibet. And he said that actually he translated this from Chinese. So I guess that the person speaks a very good Chinese, but this time anyway, it was a really, I think it was a good translation. It was, it makes a lot of sense. And so language is always a challenge for us. Even the word Shamba that we are going to discuss the 9 days. Shamba, Shidal, Shamba. Attachment, broadly speaking, is correct. Desire, grasping, shemba. But this is something that we should discuss a little bit, because the word shemba, sometimes the language also evolves. Many times, of course. Culturally, politically, economically, it evolves. And sometimes overusage. I think we Buddhists have used the word attachment too much, overused. So many times when you hear Shemba Shidal, for instance, parting from the four attachments, the word attachment doesn't really hit us as it should. So, not that I'm going to correct the translation, I'm going to also discuss the word Shemba, or the whatever, Shemba. So, the word Shenpa, attachment, grasping, it could be infatuation, might work a little bit, infatuation. Really, please do not write infatuation in your, I'm just giving you for your mental exercise. Crush, crudely speaking, you having a crush to somebody or something, like you can't do without. Ridiculous it may be, for instance, like you buy an iPhone. An iPhone looks already quite nice like this, but you saw a cover for the iPhone, which is actually a ridiculous thing, because iPhone is so beautifully designed and you want to really show this off. Why do you want to cover it? But the moment you saw that cover, which is carefully and very intelligently and smartly designed by all this, feeder of the consumer society. They've done amazing job. So the moment we saw that cover, we are so infatuated. Until we get this, we can't sleep. I'm talking about personal experience. So you know now what I mean. Infatuation, crush, in love might work also. Really madly in love, completely madly in love. What does this tell you? Anyone who is not in love here right now, or those who have just gone through the in love experience, those who have not yet in love, they will not know this. But anyone who has gone through the bit of in love experience, you know that when you are in love, whole rational system doesn't exist. Logic doesn't make any sense. It doesn't matter whether your partner smells like rotten garlic or your partner smells like, I don't know, sandalwood. The logic doesn't come in. The rational mind, the sober mind doesn't come in. That's what happens, isn't it? So when we say Shemba Shira, by the way, I'm still teaching Shemba Shira. So when we say Shenpa, attachment or grasping, infatuated, really, when we are infatuated with something, we lose the total rationality. This is very much spoken by the Shantideva. Shantideva has a whole chapter about how ignorant beings are controlled and ruled by the emotion. This is, let us come to a conclusion of what Shemba or the attachment, because really, as I was saying earlier, we have to really know. This is 2009. In the year 2009, everything what you do, you have to have something in it for you, right? Some profit is necessary. What is it? What is there in it for us? Right? What's there in it for us if you have no attachment to this life, or samsara, or what is it? Selfishness, or view. Okay, if you don't have that, what is it in for us? What will it do to me? Will it make my living situation better? Will it make me able to speak to my husband or wife more, efficiently? We need a quick productivity is so important. Productivity is so important. We need to produce something. So that we need to establish. Otherwise, becoming a Dharma practitioner is such a loss. There's so many amazing things happening. For instance, like instead of these 9 days, all stuck here, there are so many things. There's mountains to climb. There's like safaris to observe. There's joints, I'm sure, everywhere. Due to the economy, it may have gone down the price. Hashish. So many amazing things to do. So we really have to convince we really have to come to a conclusion that Shenpa is not a good thing. Tibetan word Shenpa is a really good word, actually. I don't know whether the attachment is doing the justice for that. It's such a beautiful word. It's a very powerful word. Shenpa is what makes everything, actually. Shenpa is what produces paranoia. Shenpa is also what produces sort of temporary, transitory bliss. Okay, so Shenpa, as exemplified by something like infatuation or in love, more importantly, when you have the Shenpa, no rational mind. You are intoxicated. You are not sober. You have lost the plot. You are distorted. Your vision, your decision you make is distorted. It's interfered by all kinds of there's a disruption. There's a disruption. It's not pure. So let's use the word in love. If you are in love to this life, you are not a Dharma practitioner. If you are in love with this samsara, you have no renunciation mind. If you are in love to your own agenda, you are not a bodhisattva. And lastly, if you are in love with, lastly, I rephrase this. If you do have something called in love, you have no view. You got it? If you are in love with this life, you are not a Dharma practitioner. If you are in love with samsara, you have no renunciation mind. If you are in love with this, your selfish agenda or yourself, then you are not a bodhisattva. And if you do have the mental factor called in love, it doesn't matter what. As long as you have so-called in love, you have no view. Just to give you a different angle of understanding the word shemba, attachment.